All right, so every year I talk about our product roadmap. I kind of summarize what we've been up to for the last year and what we have coming up in the next 12 months. And so let's jump into it. I want to talk about the version thing, which we've touched on a few times. So we have two major versions of CourseStage. There used to be three, but we managed to finally get off of the very first one. So there are two versions in production right now. If you went live before 2018, you're on Broadway. I think that's consistent. Yeah. And if you went live 2018 or later, you're on Carnegie. See the BC, it's alphabetical. So status of Broadway. So as we've been saying all along, fully supported through the fourth quarter of 2021. We have started upgrading Broadway clients to Carnegie. We started that in 2019. We have a goal to upgrade all of our Broadway clients to Carnegie in 2020. We just think it's a much better system. Got lots of reasons. It's an upgrade for doing that. So please plan for an upgrade in 2020 if you are on Broadway. And most likely, if you are, you've probably heard. We've probably already reached out to you, but wanted to get that out there. So reasons to upgrade to Broadway. It's much better for mobile. Upgrade to Carnegie. Carnegie is much better for mobile. Broadway is mobile responsive. Carnegie is better mobile responsiveness. You have a lot more learning formats and options like the interactive content module that we just saw. Things like the new drag and drop quiz questions. There are all kinds of little like Easter eggs like that throughout the system. There's more efficient administration. We've really, as our clients have kind of gotten to be larger learning businesses, not necessarily always just larger associations, but just bigger learning businesses with more courses and more content, more learners. Carnegie is getting a bunch of attention to ways that we more efficiently serve those larger scales of content and courses and so forth. So. And then improve security. This is really the big reason we're driving toward upgrading everybody to Carnegie. It's really important that we get them to Carnegie. So those are the reasons to do it. And now I'll go into some of the specific details. But feel free to jump in if you have questions at any time as well. So our product strategy is, we think of it as four main points really. So we're going for usability. That's kind of like an underlying layer of what we're going for. And then we need to continuously make efforts to support mobile because mobile is a different platform, a different way of interacting with the platform. Lifelong learning is core to what our clients are doing. So you are all doing different forms of continuing education and professional development. For typically professionals, you're often the only people doing offering the content that you're offering, at least at the level of quality that you offer it. So we take that really seriously, and we're trying to support lifelong learning for professionals. And then learning business support. So you all, almost all, revenue is really important. Part of what you do, you often are really important to your entire association in terms of the amount of revenue you bring in, and you need features that help you better run a learning business. So you'll see we're working hard on those kinds of features. So what we've been doing for the last 12 months, this is kind of the overview, and then I'll go into a couple of these more specifically. But we've rolled out our first client-branded mobile app. That means it's an iOS and Android native app that you can get from the App Store for your platform. And the smaller feature, we also developed a responsive transcript, which is a long-standing client request. I'll go into more detail on the mobile app in a second. Then in terms of things we've done to support lifelong learning, we are working on a new front page dashboard that's more configurable for your learners. So you've all seen many times now the dashboard with the circles that indicate progress, and then there's an optional timeline over there. That's still available, but we'll be able to add additional tabs to that with configurable displays that we can create for you. So, for example, if you're doing things like the intelligent recommendations in Carnegie, you can put those in one of those tabs there as part of that dashboard. We've added a face-to-face module. This is brand new, but the face-to-face module is designed for supporting one kind of sort of live training, the type of live training where you have a sort of workshop that you run repeatedly, maybe in one particular location. You need people just to be able to sign up for that. Sort of roster management is one way to think of it. Quiz response uploading. So we've found more of our clients are doing live learning in the learning management system, and they need a way to offer a paper quiz, some kind of paper quiz, and then be able to pull in the results for that. So we've built a feature for that. And it's especially designed for Scantron files, but you can use it for other kinds of uploading. And then our XAPI module is really coming into its own. It's actually in use finally by one of our bigger clients. And it feeds a lot of data to what's called a learning record store, and that learning record store is kind of like a data warehouse for learning data, and you can then use that to do all kinds of analytics on it. So if you're interested in XAPI, we'd love to talk more about that. Then supporting learning businesses. So automated messaging, we've finished a new automated messaging module that's supposed to, we used to have lots of different messages that were kind of in lots of ways to generate emails based on triggers that were kind of scattered throughout the system, and we sort of centralized it all in one module and added a bunch more configurability to it. So there's less coding involved in sending out those kinds of messages. And then a bunch of features for subportals. So you heard a couple of people talking about subportals today. Those are basically ways of giving a group of people, whether that be a business or a chapter or another association that you work with, some limited administration of users and content in the LMS and branding for them as well. So we started out they were just missing like basic reports. We added that. Then we added an email invitations feature. So a lot of businesses especially want, like if you're an association that offers training to businesses, that the businesses then send out to their employees. This is like a lot of our clients are doing this. You want a way to give those businesses a way to invite people to come to the portal. So the email invitations do that. Then we can actually now fully theme these. So for a long time, subportals have had kind of the ability to put on like a logo. And now they are full-on themable. So you can log into the LMS, and if you're part of a subportal, you can see a theme that is fully branded for your particular employer or whatever organization you're working with. And then we've integrated it to the catalog module too. So you can have a subportal with a catalog of courses that only people who belong to that subportal can see, shop through, enroll into. So another long-standing request. Then interoperability. So a few quick things. We've built a new e-commerce solution. BigCommerce is one of the newer e-commerce platforms out there. They have a cloud-based model. And basically, we can use BigCommerce as just the shopping cart. So you can come into the catalog, check out in the LMS, get a product, add it to your cart, and then go check out in BigCommerce, then come back to the LMS, and you have your course there. We've built, we have connectivity going to Association Analytics now, which is one of the business intelligence providers in the association space. So we've got a couple of clients working, one up and running, two more looking into it. And then we built an integration. If you know anybody doing pharmacy, I don't think we have anybody here, but anybody doing pharmacy education, we've built integration to the pharmacy credit tracking platform so you can zap your credits over to the ACPE or BPS. And finally, this was actually an idea that came from the UGM last year. So people were saying, a couple of our clients were saying, I have all this, when I build a course from a template, there's one last thing I still have to go do, which is I have to go in and I have to like enter like a block of text that has like learning objectives and the name of the faculty, and sometimes like the location of the course if it's like a live course. And I wish there were a way to automate that. So the example from CME is like Front Matter, like CME Front Matter, where you've got kind of like your CME disclosures, learning objectives, all that kind of thing. So we brand new, hot off the presses, there's a feature called tokens, or HTML tokens, where you can drop in little tokens that say something like hashtag learning objective 1. And then it'll pull in that data from a field that you put in the course. I know this is super geeky sounding, but it does actually, like, it basically will let you upload a big list of courses, then upload a big list of settings that include your learning objectives and your faculty and that kind of thing. And then your course will just be created with all of that text in the right places in the course that's specific to that course. So you don't have to go in and actually copy paste that stuff in. So that's coming from clients who have things like, oh, we've got 200 webinars, we've got to move recorded webinars, we have to move into the LMS. All right, so any questions about those before I jump into talking about the app? All right. Yeah.
In terms of the subportals and the themes, catalogs, and sort,
yeah.
How much of that can be, if we're sort of letting some institution
right.
have their own subportal, how much of that can they handle themselves, and how much of that is going to have to run through us?
We built that. That's a great question. So we built the theming with the idea that you would be doing the theming for it. Kind of because it's like something that a trained person should do, because you could do things like make the background of the entire LMS the same color as all the text, and suddenly people can't see anything that's going on. But right, yeah. The email invitations is for them, for your clients to or your partners to manage. The reports are for them. The catalogs are for you to manage. So it's like you can say like, all right, I've given you these 10 courses that you can then freely enroll people into or even sell to people. So, Cheryl.
Can we get an HTML on token demo?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'm not smart enough to do it right now, but yes, well, I'd love to give you a demo of that. So, yeah.
A2 connectivity, is that via API or is it via replication of the database?
Right now they're doing replication of the database, and that was sort of a choice that they were, based on their tools that they had, it worked best for them to do it that way. We have had other, like there's one other example of a data warehouse that's actually using the API to pull in the data.
Is that Nucleus or something else?
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, it's Nucleus. Yep. Yep. Nucleus, right? Isn't that Gravity? Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we're going to attempt to go live here on my phone. I have a 4-year-old. That's why it's all cracked like that. So, can you make me the presenter? Oh, you did? Okay, well, no. Try again. Okay. It's saying that I'm now saying that I'm sharing my phone. Oh, you're seeing both of them. Okay, let's see here. So you should be. Let's see. Nope, this is not the live thing. So, all right.
That you should have on the PowerPoint presentation though.
Good point. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. I think the problem is that I'm the same presenter on both of these, and so it's not working because of that, unfortunately. Let's see here. try it one more time to make me the presenter. We tested this earlier and it worked fine. Right? Oh, well. Okay, well, I'll just talk to it. So this is a SCORM package down here. And cool things about what the app does is it will let you, learners could actually take that SCORM package offline. So if they wanted to do, like say before they get on the plane, they have like an hour-long thing, SCORM package that they need to do, they can actually download it to their phone. It's not like they have your content then, it's all encrypted within the app itself. It's not like a download that appears in their downloads or anything like that. But they can take it offline, and then the next time they connect to the internet, all that information goes back up to the LMS. And you don't have to set this up in any special way. It's set up through the normal LMS user interface as well. So you as an administrator do things the normal way, and then you just make the SCORM package available for the app, and it works from there. And then the part I really wanted to demo was that the SCORM interface is really great for SCORM on a phone, which is like setting the level at like, it's not the highest level of expectations, but we had like a standard kind of old storyline package running here, and it works quite well. The LMS adds extra arrow keys that are easier to access. You can easily find the like bookmarks that Storyline adds to the SCORM. So it's a nicer interface for SCORM, for example. It also does quiz access offline. So if you're thinking about doing like long, say like 50 question self-assessment type things, a quiz that somebody would take a long time to do, this is very worth looking at because, again, somebody could choose to do it on the plane when they actually have time to concentrate on like a long self-assessment like that. So, we now have the ability, I mentioned it was client branded, so we can add your logo to it. So this is for the Institute for Real Estate Management. And we can integrate to your AMS. So you log in one time to your AMS, and then you're logged in with your regular user account with your association account. It's the same account you use to get into the regular AMS and LMS. So those are the big points. Oh, it also does push notifications. So it's sending out real like mobile push notifications that show up in your notifications area on your phone. So those are the big points on the app. Now I have to get back. Yeah.
You said that's SCORM, so if I'm building something just in your general operating book,
Mm-hmm.
the regular course with no SCORM,
Yeah.
do I then have to transfer it to SCORM for it to go on the app, or?
No. It's all the modules work in the app. Some of the modules, it's wonky in some sense. Some of the modules actually open in a browser. But that's a seamless experience for the learner. So they actually are just taken straight to the module that you build. So,
okay.
So for example, like
Then
a questionnaire,
SCORM is the one
right?
that they can actually download onto their phone.
Yep. SCORM, quiz, and things like assignment modules, all of those things that happen right in the app itself. So, yeah.
Can you do like PDFs and the video?
Yeah, PDF, thank you, yeah.
All of your other kind of content activities.
Okay.
Yep.
Just do videos, right? I mean, you're hosting videos somewhere else. Then
Like
they-
Vimeo?
Well, yeah, if you were embedding a video from somewhere else, right, it's not going to download into the app like that, yeah.
Are the users notified if they're using offline access and there's something that they would need to be? Is there a notification to them if they're missing something?
When you set yourself up for doing something offline, there's a little download icon that appears next to the activity. So there'd be a little download thing next to that that activity module SCORM package there. And so you are conscious that you've downloaded it, you're doing it locally. It doesn't remind you to reconnect to the internet, I guess, but you're probably going to connect to the internet again pretty soon.
Yeah, if it has to be redirected to like an outside website, would it notify someone that there's a failure, or would it just
Gotcha.
be like the page doesn't load, or?
Like,
right.
like if I'm using video,
Mhm.
I can't download that, right?
Right.
And so if I'm on an airplane, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take this course right now.
Yeah.
And I
Yep,
downloaded
gotcha.
the SCORM portion, but I couldn't download
Yes,
the
it
video
would-
portion. Is
right.
it gonna tell you?
It would
that-
tell you, yeah, that
that
we
you
need to
still
open this
do
in a
this
browser.
portion?
Right. It tells you if you need to open something in the internet.
Okay.
You need internet
Sure.
access to
Yeah,
access something.
okay.
Right. Yep.
Notification or
Right.
something that they know that they missed something, so
Yeah.
they can go back later.
Exactly.
Andy, was your emphasis on the SCORM on the phone because there's been question of how Storyline
Yeah.
adapts to a mobile app?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're saying it works for Storyline produced courses, but it also works for all the courses that you created?
Yeah, that's right. So you're creating, like, it fully supports the LMS
I would hope so. It's
concepts of, right. Yeah, I know.
No, it doesn't work with our LMS.
But we're gonna do it to you.
Rhetorically, maybe I should have started from there and then gone into the SCORM. I don't know. But yeah. So let's see. I'll get back to this.
There is something to be said for if you're building something built within the SCORM.
Right.
If people are going to access it in a mobile environment, you probably need to approach it differently, right? Because doesn't it, I mean, the aspect ratio is so much different.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's some parts of Storylines, if you're not using Rise, if you're using Storyline and you decide to do certain kinds of interactions, those things don't always play on every mobile platform. They have some problems with iPhones and that kind of thing sometimes. So, yeah.
Now the app is available now?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you're doing it.
So this is BigCommerce shopping cart I already talked about, but the idea is we wanted a way to offer like a light e-commerce solution that has a lot of advantages for having more control of the catalog in CoreStage Carnegie. So you've seen lots of examples of CoreStage Carnegie catalogs today. Then being able to check out in BigCommerce, which is a really widely used e-commerce platform that scales really well and is sort of like has tons of plugins for all of the payment gateways. And like if you needed to do like a gift card or some random thing that people do in e-commerce, you'd be able to find a plugin that would let you do that for BigCommerce really easily. So that BigCommerce can handle the checkout, and then we send the user back to the LMS. BigCommerce has branded itself, so they might not even detect that they're going to a different site. It still appears under your own domain, all those kinds of things. So it's been a cool thing we've built in the last year. All right, and then so what we're planning for the next 12 months. For the mobile app, more offline access. So things like having your evaluations actually open in the app themselves as opposed to in a browser. For lifelong learning types of things, so we have a PARS report right now that generates a spreadsheet that you can then upload into PARS, and it matches the format they require. There's also, PARS also has the ability to let us integrate and just zap the credits over for CME. So if you're doing CME, that's a new thing that you might want to look into. There are 2 different web services they offer for MOC and CME. So we're working on that. And then Moodle sprinting. So we have this underlying code. A lot of like our base of the LMS comes from this underlying code called Moodle. And we want to be able to upgrade more quickly to just like in terms of how much work we can do. We want more efficient processes for being able to get those upgrades in faster. That just brings an incredible number of benefits to our learners. It offers, Moodle constantly adds extra features. So we're implementing a process right now that'll let that happen more quickly, so that hopefully we don't have to go to a new version ever after Carnegie is our objective.
If there is there a D in mind?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you're not
we're
gonna-
woodshedding
You
it.
can tell me, but you can't kill me.
Right. Yeah, but we're not planning that right now. We just we do have a D in mind if we ever need a D. Yeah. Then supporting learning businesses. So being able to put an administrative dashboard that has some business intelligence on it. So like graphical displays of your enrollments, completions, credits awarded, that kind of thing. So you can see how they change over time. We're working on a way of doing that right in the LMS, so you don't have to use an external provider to do those kinds of things. Privacy module, so being able to think ahead to future changes that are coming, not only for like GDPR, but there's also some laws like on the state level, like there's the California privacy law that's going to be passed eventually here. So we have a privacy module that's trying to meet all of those use cases around controlling your own data if you're a learner. And then subscription pricing options, that's something that we often have clients asking about, like different kind of models for subscriptions, whether it be like all you can eat or all you can eat for a set of courses, or having some kind of voucher that would give you like 5 courses, that kind of thing. Building that right into the LMS. Then for interoperability, so we're seeing more interest in Salesforce from associations. You might be using a Salesforce-based AMS, like Nimble AMS, yeah, Fontiva, exactly. Or there are some associations that are going to like throwing out the idea of an AMS and they're just going to use a CRM like Salesforce for that. So we think that broadly we need to get better at Salesforce. So we're working on Salesforce integration. Vimeo Pro for handling large amounts of video has been a really success for us over the last couple of years. So we're deepening the integration to make it easier to get videos into Vimeo through the LMS and increase the number of places in the LMS where videos are delivered from Vimeo. Right now it's an activity module on its own. So we want to be able to do things like, say, you put a video right on a course page that should be playing back from Vimeo. It's more reliable than using the LMS servers, which are specialized for LMS stuff, not for videos. So.
Are you guys looking at anything with regards to Vimeo Pro on the live streaming side?
No, that's a good point.
Like a whole suite of live streaming services.
Wow. We probably should look at that, yeah.
Yeah, we just did more like, the answer is yes.
Yeah. Thanks for the tip. We will look into that. So, and then, so DIY integration. So this means like the integration is always this, like the bulk really of a new LMS implementation for us. Like most of our hours go into that integration. So there are associations out there that want to be able to just develop an integration entirely against our API. So they want to be able to do every single point of the integration against our API without us doing any custom code. So we're working on that. And the benefit to you is that there would be more API methods that you could use in the future to do more things in the LMS. Like if you wanted to sign people in from something new that you developed, or you wanted to get more data from transcripts, you would have more tools to do that. Then efficient administration. So I talked about these upload-based processes, like being able to set up hundreds of courses, all with like a spreadsheet upload. So we're working on making that client accessible. Right now, it's like our support department has to do it because you could accidentally, delete all your courses if you did it wrong. So we're creating a client-friendly version of that. Going along with that, being able to change a bunch of settings on courses all in bulk. Like if you suddenly need all your courses to have some, new course field populated, you could do that all at once. And on the catalog side, being able to also upload a bunch of products to the LMS at once. So that works with the tokens that we're talking about, where you can say, upload them, make them in this template, add these custom fields, and then the tokens will fill in with those fields. Oh, and a simpler way of publishing courses to products as well. So you can have a publish button from a course that creates a product for it in the catalog. So that's what we're working on. Questions in general, or anything you'd like to see on the CourseStage roadmap? Well, even if you want to brainstorm, go ahead, Daniel.
So in the vein of, or the
Mhm.
performance at the admin side can be an issue at times.
Right.
Whether that's recording, whatever it is.
Mhm.
So is that a temporary thing? Is that something that needs to be up there specifically? What's going on?
We're aware of that, and we're working hard on it. The actual, okay, so the Vimeo thing is actually related to that. So being able to have the videos coming from the server can actually slow down the LMS. So that's our main culprit right now. And so, yeah.
Is that across the board? Like, are my videos that I've uploaded affecting Ben's
Yes.
administrative?
No, they're not. No, they're separate. No, they're separate virtual machines. They are.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all compartmentalized.
But what you are saying is that if I have a lot of videos on my Element and someone's just on there doing a journal course, it'll be slower because of the videos. that I
Yeah, at random moments that can happen, basically, is what we've
Not just for
discovered.
the
So we're
administrator, but for the learner as well.
right. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So that's part of, why we're working on the Vimeo thing. We want to deliver more video through Vimeo. So, yeah, Daniel.
Transcript functionality is that's something that we can get just improving the overall usability and look and feel of the way things appear in the transcript in different ways. There's some wonkiness there and this could be specific to our implementation, I'm not sure, but that seems like an area that could use some focus at some point in the future.
Okay. Yeah, we
We've
should.
got things showing up multiple times. I think it's just from a usability
Oh, gotcha.
standpoint, it's like, and again, some of this may be the way that we import data in, and we just launched in February, so we're still working on the kinks there. But it seems like that, at least from our set, training seems to be a thing that like, we've got a great user experience up to that point, but then they get there and there's some confusion and, it's not really providing the best experience.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, we should.
with like some courses, we were
Yeah.
just talking about this.
Okay.
Some courses on the transcript and then also like adding filters for users.
Gotcha.
I'm totally on board.
Agreed. Me too. So.
I think also with the transcripts though, because now you have that you can click on the header and it will reshift and alphabetize, organize your transcript. So it started, and then you can click on those headers. There's nothing to tell them to click on the headers.
Gotcha. So just a little UI improvement to make it, yeah.
Saying click
Right.
headers to reorganize your transcript. And,
Right.
And so you might not need a filter, but just something that gives them some idea that this is, you can change how it looks. You can do it oldest to newest to oldest, whatever, alphabetized.
Yeah.
Just like a little bit of instruction goes a long way.
Somebody taking notes. That's a great idea. That's a fast one. So yeah.
And one thing I did notice in Carnegie though, you can download it to a PDF, which in Rotary you can't download a PDF, so that's
Right.
one of the project people in the room. You can download it now, which is nice.
Cool. Jess, is there anybody online asking questions?
No, they're pretty much sitting tight.
We're drinking beer.
Like those one meetings?
All right.
Can I go back?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, on the Vimeo front, just while you're looking into what might be possible there, we are heavy users of Vimeo. And one of the things that we often get asked by our customers, and this may be complementary to the app side of things, is how can they get that content offline? And I think Vimeo has some settings. I haven't looked into this very deeply myself, but where both in terms of like even if they just want to listen to it on a commute or something, and it's not the full video, but they find value to listen to the audio or the ability to download the video. I think both of those things are if you're looking at ways to maybe improve the way that Vimeo can integrate in, or that would be one thing to look at.
Awesome. Okay.
Going back to the dashboard.
Yeah.
You said you were doing some upgrades to the dashboard and adding different tabs. Is that what you?
So you can build your own tabs in the dashboard.
So like I can have a tab that says live meetings.
Right.
And
Exactly.
just show their live meetings.
Right, and we could-
On demand, just show on demand, and I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that you got to talk to your account manager to get it set up, but. But yeah, we just build a little report that says the current user's live meetings, and then it can show up. It can be rendered like, like tiles or however you want it to appear to them. So yeah.
And then you can have like an all, show all.
Mhm.
Or just,
Yep.
they're like filter
Right.
tabs,
Yep.
basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right.
When you say you have like the goal of having all Broadway on Carnegie, how do you imagine that working? Just as it's like a voluntary thing, but at some point, it sounds like you are gonna shut off Broadway.
Yeah, right. So we're hoping in 2020 to get, our goal is to get everybody upgraded to Carnegie. After Q4 of 2021, then we start getting, we start talking about dropping support entirely for Broadway, which is what we did with Apollo. And so,
Yeah, so it's like
right.
not adding new customizations or new features to Broadway. It's not that we're like completely not supporting the
Yeah.
platform, but
We've never
not,
turned
like,
out the
actively
lights on
developing
somebody.
Broadway.
Right. Yep.
That's in 2 years.
Correct. All right, so happy hour.